of what you are telling them, or rather what you're teaching them. So we're getting to a time of breaking bread. These conversations continue haziwezi kaisha. Thank you so much for writing in, sharing what you'd like to hear pale kwa kanisa. It's also helping the growth of our churches, and maybe also helping you to plan on how to reach out to our young people. And today, the Switch Devotion, we're live on Facebook. You can get me on Facebook, pia pale YouTube na Twitter at Hope FM Live. And I just have a few minutes to share. And I'm sharing from the book of Romans chapter 14. And Romans 14 talks about the weak and the strong. And of course, when we are talking about the weak and the strong, also at times strength or being strong comes with also maturity. Yeah, so sana unakuta the weak versus the strong. I'm going to relate this to our young people versus you out there who has been saved for the longest time. Like, your muscle, spiritual muscle, kuna vile iko in comparison to the young people. Somebody was just realized that, I need the Lord. Ameokoka leo, ameokoka weekend pale kwa kanisa. So Romans 14 talks about the weak and the strong. And other God says, accept the one whose faith is weak, without quarreling over disputable matters. One person's faith allows them to eat anything, but another whose faith is weak eats only vegetables. The one who eats everything must not treat with contempt the one who does not. And the one who does not eat everything must not judge the one who does, for God has accepted them. And of course, some of the disputable matters here, ni kama food and stuff. But I want to go to verse 13. Therefore, let us stop passing judgment on one another. Instead, make up your mind not to put any stumbling block or obstacle in the way of a brother or a sister. So therefore, let us stop passing judgment on one another. Instead, make up your mind not to put any stumbling block or obstacle in the ways of a brother or a sister. And that is what I want to just touch on in a minute or a minute and a half. Make up your mind. Make up your mind. Now I look at Daniel, and he resolved not to do certain thing. Like you, as my listener right now, you should make up your mind. You should resolve that you will not be a stumbling block to a brother or a sister when it comes to this conversation of the weak versus the strong. Na tumefika level fulani ya na walk na Mungu, alafu unaona mwingine ako mahali ulikuwa, be empathetic rather than kuwafukuza by being judgmental. And I can assure you there are things as where I sit today as Karis, 6 years, 9 years ago, or 10 years ago as a teenager, or even I'm still a young person, but as a teenager, there are things ninge argue sana. But right now, I look back and I'm like, people gave me room to grow or outgrow or move from certain spheres, of how I see things. And that is what I am asking, even kwa wao vijana wenye mko nao kwa kanisa, kwa wao vijana wenye mko nao nyumbani pale. Do not be a stumbling block. When you see them doing things that sooner or later utajua, you just tell them with love, even rebuke with love, even calling them out with love. But some of us are becoming stumbling blocks. Some of us have said usijaribu, kama ni hivi. Some of us have used words like usiwahi kuja hapa tena. Some of us have chased them away using our harsh words and our harsh judgmental words. But the word of God today is asking us to make up our minds. Make up our minds, even to pray for them, to pray for the young people, to pray for those sons and daughters that you have, to pray for the friends that hang out with your sons and your daughters, before being judgmental, before chasing them away from even churches and saying hii kifanyika hapa munaenda, ama kukienda hivi kutakuwa hivi. Why not make up your mind today and allow the Lord to teach you, and just to give you love and to coat your words with love, because we can win these young people with how we talk to them, with how we view them, and with how we approach them. I, as Man Karis, have made up my mind not to put any stumbling block or obstacle in the ways of a brother or a sister. They may be young, they may be old, they may be believers or not, but I will not put a stumbling block to any of them. Please, also, do not be a stumbling block to any brother or sister.